Look, if you're just waking up to the news, somehow, some way, the Sixers did it. So good morning to you. And I'll tell you how. Because Tyrese Maxey did it. He did it. I mean, this dude delivered in the clutch, unlike most athletes that have ever come through Philadelphia sports. This was an all-timer last night. So great morning to you. A miraculous night. And we'll talk about it today as obviously Game 6 looms on the horizon tomorrow night, where the Sixers have punched their way back into this series. It was an incredible game, and we'll talk about it all day today at 215-592-9494. Rich.
Joe.
Hello, bud.
MIT students can become certified pirates.
Well, I'll tell you what. I guess that means anybody can then.
They made it official in 2012. They offer classes in things like sailing, fencing, pistols, and archery, and you can receive a certificate that asserts your status as a scourge of the high seas.
Well, let's hope Maxey doesn't do that, because Seltzer, I kind of want him here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want his time diverted.
Yeah, it's
so
fair with that.
God bless this dude. I mean, this was close to a miracle. This thing was, I got a buddy texting me. He turned the game off. Blah 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 blah. I mean, look, I know we all felt down. I know it was an irritating game in certain ways. We'll get into the whole Joel thing. But let's really start with the Maxey thing. Matter of fact, let's start not where it ended, but where it almost ended. Near the end of regulation, the 76ers in deep trouble. They are down 6. Obviously, Brett Brown. Nick Nurse calls the timeout. The Sixers' hope is very slim. And out of a timeout, Tyrese Maxey does this.
Now they're just trying to get to the finish line and wrap up this series. Maxey floats it up and in, plus the foul.
Now, you can tell in the moment that the announcer a little confused. First off, he thought the foot was on the line, which it wasn't. All right, by the way, Tyrese.
It wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't. Tyrese might have walked, by the way, but we won't talk much about that.
Oh, I think he did walk.
So Maxey hits the 3, gets fouled, hits the free throw. So now a 6-point game has quickly become a 2-point game. So now you got a shot, but you still got work to do. This is like when the Knicks had their miracle comeback in Game 2. You still got work to do. Somehow you still got to get the ball back in enough time, in enough scoring, opportunity where you're not down too much. All right, so we know what they do. The Sixers obviously foul. They foul, I'm glad they didn't foul Brunson. All right, so they foul Josh Hart. He makes one, he misses one.
But Josh Hart is like 87% on the season from the foul line.
So he misses the first, he makes the second. Sixers are down 3. No timeouts left. Got to go. Let's listen to what ensued.
And rolls down for Hart. The Knicks up by 3. 10 seconds left in Game 5. Maxey fires. He's got it. Tie game. 8.1 to play. 41 for Maxey. 3 seconds left. Brunson, 2 seconds. Brunson at the horn. It's blocked. Overtime at the Garden. Philadelphia is not done yet. Tyrese Maxey comes through in the clutch.
Absolutely unbelievable. Look, we want to hear from you on a glorious Wednesday morning here, 215-592-9494. Look, what we don't know is whether this is a reprieve that will actually help the 76ers get to the second round, right? And we'll deal with that, tomorrow and into the weekend potentially if they force a Game 7. What we know, though, for now is in the clutch, it was one of the most clutch performances we've ever seen from a Philadelphia athlete. And, John, he did something last night few athletes have ever done. Almost single-handedly. Not going to give him total single-handedly because some other guys did some stuff. But almost single-handedly, for now at least, saved the season. And that's a hell of an accomplishment by him.
Now, Tyrese Maxey rescued the season last night. But remember, it started out, he missed 3 free throws in a row last night. And I felt like the Armageddon was upon us. I felt like that's a sign. All right, pack it in. I thought we were done. And then down 6 points with 28 seconds to play. Yeah. It feels like it's over. But my God, and Joel is gassed, by the way. Tyrese steals that 4-point play. That 4-point play. Massive. And then follows it up with the 3 that's not even guardable because you're almost at half court to take it to overtime. Tyrese he proved that he can lift this team to greatness, and he doesn't necessarily have to defer to Joel Embiid like is stuck in my head early in this series. Here Joel, I know that it's late in the game.
That's right.
Here you go.
That's right.
He doesn't have to do that. The 13-4 Sixers run over the last 3.5 minutes, 13-4 Sixers run. That's something I didn't expect our team to be able to do against a well-coached team. Look, I haven't been thrilled with the way Nick Nurse has conducted this team through this adventure thus far.
Yep.
But, man, I thought it was good enough yesterday. But I think in the grand scheme of things, last night, fantastic. Tyrese started tongues wagging. How much help from Joel does he need for the rest of this?
So the Joel thing was fascinating last night. So let's put it all on the table here for you, 215-592-9494. I mean, if you are just waking up and didn't finish the game, because obviously I know some people do go to bed early and are then therefore up at this time that may have missed the end of a playoff game. Like the Sixers won, okay? The Sixers won a game that it did appear
we sure they still won? Because I still can't believe it. 7 hours later or whatever,
it was one of those, hey, when the alarm went off, recheck.
Did it really happen?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of like Dorothy waking up in the bed. Like, did I get to Oz? Did I not get to Oz?
Am I living in black and white or is this
right.
color?
So they did win. Maxey was far and away the biggest part of it. Now credit to Tobias Harris, who gave the Sixers more than I thought he had in him.
Then the entire world thought he had in him.
He made shots. He made big shots. He made that shot in overtime. You know, the beginning of overtime was a disaster. So it's like, all right, you get the reprieve, you force overtime. Then, like, immediately they're down 5 points in overtime. Like, instantaneously, all of a sudden I got a 5-point hole. It's like, oh, God, here we go. Look, Tobias obviously played a tremendous game. Joel, so let's tackle Joel's game. And, again, everyone can weigh in, 215-592-9494. The Joel game was a strange one. Disappointing in a lot of ways. I will say I was not as down on Joel as a lot of people seem to be. I mean, Spike was taking shots on him on Twitter. Like, I was frustrated with Joel, don't get me wrong. But I did think he was contributing in more ways than some people were alluding to. But the turnovers were epidemically disastrous. Like, for those that don't know, he was one turnover away from 10 turnovers, which means, though,
at one point he did have 10 turnovers,
and then they must have reduced.
And then they peeled one.
They
back.
must have. So he avoids a quadruple double. He actually gets a triple double because he did have enough points, rebounds, and assists. Like his rebounds were good, his assists were good, his points were low for his standard, and his turnovers were just a disaster. John, what do you make of the Joel game? Like, how would you sum it up?
I was not happy with the way he was still focused on his health more than just playing and being focused in. He's still paying too much attention to the knee. He's still messing with the brace at times, which I do not think he should be wearing. Again, I think that that's something someone needs to talk to him about, his own mindset. But when we needed him, overtime, Joel was able to dig deep, and he was able to give us just enough. But Tyrese was the story of the day. Joel was the accompaniment. But Tyrese made it, is this Batman and Robin any longer? No, it's more like, I don't know, Colossus and Nightcrawler. I don't think you understand that reference at all. But they're both members of the X-Men. They're together. They're on equal X-Men footing. And last night, Tyrese was the better player.
Well, at age 23, it's also amazing where his future could. I mean, guys, 23 years old. Think about that. Like, imagine when he's 27, 28. So you got that for the future. But
at 27, 28, with the work ethic that I don't think is going to change.
Well, I agree
a
with
lot
that.
of times when guys have success and they do well, that things sort of slack off.
Yeah.
I still think he's going to be at the gym at 5 o'clock every day this summer.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm a big believer in Tyrese Maxey. So it was. I mean, it's a great morning to be a Sixers fan. Now, look, they're not like out of the woods. Okay, they're still pretty deep in the woods. But here's what we do know: this series is up for grabs. This series has been up for grabs the whole series. I mean, 4 of these 5 games have been razor close to the point where the team that lost 4 of the games could have won the game. I'd say the only game that was won fairly comfortably was when the Sixers won Game 3. The other 4 games clearly could have gone to the losing side. I mean, Games 2 and Game 5, obviously, most predominantly, could have, and let's be real, frankly, should have been won by the team that lost the game. I mean, the Knicks don't foul Tyrese Maxey. Josh Hart does miss that free throw. Mitchell Robinson does commit a foul, and Tyrese Maxey that gives Maxey a 4-point play. I mean, obviously, referee calls are going to continue to swing moments here and there in dramatic fashion. I mean, I do think the refs missed a walk on Maxey. I do think the refs flat out missed that the Knicks were inbounds with the ball with whatever amount of time was left. I don't remember if that was overtime or regulation, but that was a massive missed call. So, look, here's what we got. We got a compelling series. It is one of the most compelling NBA series I've seen in a long time. It's one of the great Philadelphia sports series I've ever seen. And I know, the Sixers are still in a hole, which means Philadelphia's still in a hole. But, I mean, come on, guys, let's be real. This is one of the great series we've ever seen any Philadelphia sports team involved in. The Sixers have a shot. Game 6 is tomorrow. I mean, we'll obviously get all into the crowd element for tomorrow and who you're selling your tickets to and if you're buying the tickets and that whole thing.
How do you think Joel's body's feeling today? How do you project that forward to tomorrow?
So I thought he looked better than he did in Game 4. I'll say that. He played almost he played almost the whole second half, and I thought he had more life than he had. Clearly had more life than he had in Game 4.
The breaks better.
They did. I thought he was more dumb with how he played last night, meaning just bad, dumb passes.
He had no lift, though. Pretty much all game, no lift.
So I thought it was a little better, James, than 4. Because, I mean, he did get 4 blocks.
No,
he did get a bunch of rebounds.
It seemed like he saved some energy for the defensive end last night, which was important.
That's what I thought. Look, all right, 215-592-9494. Yes. The 76ers won the game. Yes, they're in it. Yes, Game 6 is tomorrow night. And yes, we'll take your phone calls through the day. Our show here on WIP and all day on WIP. Your calls to react to a tremendous win. 215-592-9494. The Knicks, New York City, they thought they had it. Now, for them, could start getting tight. I love it. Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie, your calls on 94 WIP.